I remember not opting to watch Dune Part 1 in theaters in 2021, and it was a very easy decision due to the pandemic. Additional reasons for my decision then was based on it being yet another movie in post-apocalyptic sci-fi genre, and the name Dune rhymed with Zune, which was a flop product made by Microsoft trying to ape iPod. So I thought this movie is also trying to ape something. After learning about the massive box office disaster it was, I felt I made the right decision. Later, after multiple postponements, I caught it on OTT. The movie most definitely surprised me as I loved the visuals and the scintillating background score. Much of the movie narrative was with the visuals and the sound design. I did make peace with the mineral for which all of this was happening being named spice, but don't really make it an edible item. It's actually a fuel for intergalactic travel. I'm not sure why they named it spice. The movie indulges in messiah myth-making and pre-told legends aiding it. That's common with Western religious faith systems. Dune 1 ended with Atreides' tribe getting decimated by Harkonnens along with the Emperor's help. The hero Paul Atreides, who's supposed to be the Messiah, and his mother Lady Jessica, who is a Bene Gesserist, escapes into the desert. Bene Gesserit are a tribe having some extraordinary powers. I remember watching a YouTube video trying to learn about these characters, and I learned that Bene Gesserit are generally women who develop this extraordinary power to look always in the past. And only males, when they become Bene Gesserit, will have additional power to look into the future. And all Bene Gesserit are the guiding power of all power centers of all tribes. Now, Dune 2 starts exactly where Dune 1 left. The same visual and musical language continued here as well. The sound design was just fabulous, and I watched it in Dolby Cinema, which just amplified everything. Simply peak of stunning cinema with exemplary visuals and exhilarating background score. The movie follows the regular tropes of messiah myth-making with an unwilling hero not ready to wear the mantle due to different reasons. And initially just his mother, but later a group of believers egging and aiding the messiah in taking up the mantle and burdening himself. If you have grown on the staple diet of Indian cinema, especially Telugu cinema, in times as such, a common man will rise to be a hero purely by deeds without needing any legend or a messiah myth-making. You would have noticed this most recently in Salar. Anyway, despite Dune following the messiah template, the emotions played out really strong and well. Timothee Chalamet did justice to the role, exhibiting his emotional turbulence between conflicting emotions like wanting to be a Fremen, but also wanting to be an Atreides, avenging not just his father's death but also the decimation of his tribe. And another conflicting notion that he doesn't want to trigger any galactic war resulting in millions and millions dying as a consequence. Rebecca Ferguson also did great, and so with most of the other actors for their respective characters. There were many inconsistencies screenplay-wise and also character-wise for me with Dune 2. The biggest problem I had with Dune 2 is Zendaya's Chani. If you don't believe in the myth and cast it off as superstition, it is perfectly fine. But when you know the legend and it is playing out exactly, the character is shown just as stubborn rather than being rational to have a conversation either internally or even externally with another person to reassess their beliefs or disbeliefs. I would have understood her better for her behavior if Paul Atreides is cheating his way to become a messiah. But that is not the case. So I found this character being emotionally unstable, and I'm not sure if that was the intent. The second character was Dave Bautista as Glosser Rabban. He has been in charge of mining in Arrakis before and also have led the attack fearlessly committing genocide against Atreides, but suddenly he's shown as though as a coward running away from a fight, also incapable of even mining at the level he was doing before, and as though he isn't beastly enough to attack Freeman's home directly. It was a mind-boggling character. The third character was the weakest character who's supposed to be the strongest character, and this is the Emperor played by Christopher Walken. The Emperor, who's a master strategizer, seems to have the weakest power with no menacing guards like say Baron Harkonnen or even Fed Harkonnen. From screenplay wise, in the climax, the action sequences again seem very much wanting and not logical. Also, the hand-to-hand combat sequences throughout the film seem very basic in I think 3 places, and the climax was the worst. Also, they tell us that 12 to 13 missiles can destroy the whole planet, and then they used almost 3 missiles that hardly caused a dent to the Emperor's impregnable tent. But later they easily blow the tent to enter. If you remember, the missiles were supposed to be in the north side of the planet, as they and we saw it there. And later, Paul Atreides and Fremen moved to south because Fed Harkonnen attacked their homes. And then for whatever reason the Emperor comes to Arrakis to ask a few simple questions and strangely decides to set up tent in unsafe south rather than in the north. Also suddenly Paul Atreides has access to the missiles from the south. They didn't show us how they were transported or remotely operated, as they didn't have any computerization anywhere in the movie. Despite all of these shortcomings, the overall visual spectacle and extraordinary background score will win you through. If you like the review, show your love by liking the video. Spread the love by sharing it with your friends, family, and bless us by subscribing to the channel so that we can keep meeting often. Thank you.